The long and grueling hours of training are cathartic for Yolande Mabika. She lost her family and her childhood in the Congolese civil war. 3 years ago, she took part in a judo competition in Brazil and stayed, claiming refugee status. The new beginning was arduous, alone, jobless and penniless. Now she's putting everything she has into qualifying for the Refugee Olympic Team, and perhaps to earn a living. Will she make it to the Olympic team? Sunday in the streets of Rio de Janeiro. This district has a large African community, and Yolande is on her way to church with her friends' children.
I'm alone here in Brazil. No father, no mother, no brothers or sisters. The church is important for me. It strengthens my heart. I attend every week. It does us all a lot of good.
Everyone in this church are refugees, like Yolande. They've fled the horrors of the civil war in Congo. Hundreds of thousands have died in the conflict over the past decades. Millions have fled. Yolande spent 15 years in a Congolese refugee camp, in constant danger.
It always makes me sad when I think of everything I've gone through. The last time I saw my parents in my village, I was 10 years old and my mother was cooking. I told her I was going out to play. Then the soldiers came and there was fighting all around me. Everybody ran. The gunfire was unbelievably loud. I never returned home.
It's a bilingual church service, Portuguese and Lingala, Yolande's native tongue. The past is behind us. Each of us may begin again. A new beginning, a better life. It was a yearning that drove Yolande to stay in Brazil after the Judo World Championship 3 years ago. But the dream began as a nightmare for the 28-year-old. She was staying in this hotel with the rest of the Congolese judo team. But the people in charge fled with the team's cash. Yolande stayed in the hotel for 3 days before taking to the streets to find something to eat. But when she tried to return, she couldn't find her way.
I was so afraid. I couldn't understand anyone. I had never seen so many people in one place. I started crying and just kept walking.
She walked aimlessly for hours, without money, without her passport. Finally, she found an African hair salon. The owner came to her aid and put her up for a night.
I slept on the floor. I had no idea what to do. I lay awake at night crying. I was distraught. I didn't know where to go next.
It was a night that changed her life. She decided to apply for asylum in Brazil. That was easier said than done. Yolande was illiterate and had no job training. It was impossible to find work, and for months she slept on the couches of friends. Having fled civil war, she was now ensconced in Rio's infamous favelas where drug wars raged.
I feared for my life that I'd be hit by a stray bullet. Brazil can be very frightening, and the favelas are just like Congo. There was no difference. It was as if I'd never left.
1.5 years later, she was able to get back into sports. An aid organization offered her the opportunity. She had to travel by bus for 2 hours to the training facility on the outskirts of Rio. Yolande trained for 15 years in a Congolese refugee camp. Now she's toe-to-toe with the best that Brazil has to offer. This socially minded sports organization has a reputation for turning out Olympic champions. Throw him on the floor, Yolande, come on. Her mentor, Geraldo Bernardes. He coached Brazil's national judo team for years, including at 4 Olympic Games. Hold your elbow like this, he says. Don't put it away from your body, otherwise your opponent can attack from underneath. Understand?
He's a great coach and knows all the moves. He had shown me things I'd never seen before. Judo has given me inner strength and toughened me up. It helps me forget all my problems. When I'm competing, there's no room in my head for sorrow. And after a long, hard workout, I can relax and focus my thoughts on the future.
The possibility of gaining a slot on the Refugee Olympic team has further stoked Yolande's ambition. Her former teammate, Popole Masenga, also fled the hotel 3 years ago. They are the only candidates for the refugee team from Brazil. They'll only find out if they've made the team shortly before the Games begin in Rio. We return to the streets of northern Rio. Word has spread that Yolande may qualify for the Olympic Games. She's gained a bit of celebrity status here. The hard work is paying off. We're her biggest supporters, says her friend. We can't wait to see her compete. There will really be some fireworks. She will be the Olympic champion in Rio 2016, says another friend. For sure, she's our champion.
A lot of people in this area know who I am. They never used to say hello, but now they greet me and want to get to know me better. Guys stop in their cars to talk. It's a great feeling.
A birthday party barbecue with friends. The hours, days, weeks and months of grueling training are paying dividends. Yolande has qualified for a stipend from the International Olympic Committee. $1,500 per month for nearly 1 year.
I'm a good worker, a paid athlete. It gives me a sense of being whole. I'm no longer a beggar. There's a Portuguese word for it. Clean, that's right. I feel clean and decent. Before, I couldn't afford a pair of long trousers for church. That was humiliating.
And for the first time, she can afford her own apartment. She got the keys 2 days ago. It's also the first time she's had a bed of her own. Small victories that she'd love to share with her family. But she hasn't heard from her parents and brothers since the day she was forced to flee her village. The images of war burned forever into her consciousness.
Look at these children. Their life has just begun and there are so many problems. I had to go through it too. I should actually be happy and forget about it. But I can't help thinking about my family. I have no idea whether they're alive or dead.
Yolande hopes that her parents will see her on TV during the Olympics and somehow get in touch. A visit to the Olympic Park in Rio de Janeiro, the center point of the Olympic Games.
The judo will be held here.
In a few short weeks, the world will be watching, along with thousands in the stands.
Wow.
Millions might see her on TV. Yolande's Olympic dream is so close to becoming a reality.
I'm already getting goosebumps, even though the stadium is still empty. The thought of competing here in front of a huge crowd. Unbelievable. But the moment is coming and soon it will take place. I'll make it, positively.
Yolande refuses to think about failure or what's to come after the Summer Games. No matter what difficulties she faces, one thing is certain: she never wants to go back to Congo.